There is, way up in Ashford, Connecticut, a brand new animal sanctuary, and it is owned by the organization Our Companions. The CEO of that organization, Susan Linker, is with us on our program on this segment. Susan, thanks so much for coming in and being
Thanks
with
for
us.
having me.
And congratulations, you have this off the ground. When was this when you got the thing going, and the status of it right now?
Well, the property was donated to us about 3 years ago, and that was largely the reason for forming our organization. It's 43 beautiful acres of land in Ashford, Connecticut, and the purpose of the gift was to build a sanctuary for pets. So we were very excited just last week to announce our groundbreaking that's upcoming in the next couple of months to start construction on the project. So it's been an exciting 3 years, and the purpose of this land is to, of course, build a sanctuary that will help pets that will otherwise be destroyed. But when we were doing a lot of research and trying to figure out exactly how this project is really going to help animals in our state, we realized that the piece of property had just a small bit of really what we could do, and a lot of the larger issues started being very clear. And so our organization has a three-part mission. One part, of course, is to take this wonderful piece of property and not only make it a sanctuary for homeless pets, but also a destination for pet lovers, where people can gather for events, for resources, and to just enjoy the bond they have with their pets. And the second part of our mission is to focus on the root cause problems. We have quite an extensive behavior program and the educational components that are really necessary. And then the last thing we realized is, as we were looking at other states that had done made considerable progress in lowering euthanasia, the one thing that was clear was that there was some kind of collaborative entity, and it usually involved the veterinary community, the rescues, state and local lawmakers, and together there was a larger plan. And that's part of our mission as well. And happily we formed another nonprofit, because one's never enough, and it's called the Animal Welfare Federation of Connecticut. And it's about 25 progressive animal welfare organizations and professionals that are working together to do more statewide initiatives, and we got our first law passed last year, and that was very exciting.
I want to take a look. We have some couple of photos here anyway. One is, I believe, it's this an aerial shot of the property?
That is as it stands right now, and I'll be frank, the reason why that land was donated is very clear. It was the site of a defunct factory farm, and northeastern Connecticut was known for having lots of, especially poultry farms. This was an egg farm. And these buildings are absolutely massive, and that does present a problem once the farms are out of business. And to give you a scale, that's a 7-acre pond. So those buildings are pretty large, and the first phase of our construction is a $2 million phase, and that includes the removal of these existing structures for us to build something that's appropriate for animals.
Now, where do you get this kind of money? I mean, this is big money we're talking about here.
It is, but I think it's all relative. I mean, if you look at the nonprofit sector and you look at capital campaigns for nonprofit organizations, you know, you're looking at multi-million-dollar campaigns, you know, 150 million. Some organizations have, you know, 300 million campaigns. And there's a variety of different charities. There are charities for education and all sorts of social issues. And what we're finding on a national level is that animal welfare issues are really ranking in the public's interest. I think that as our society evolves, we realize that it's just not right to be destroying the surplus pets. And campaigns like that of Our Companions, specifically ones that institute sanctuaries instead of shelters, have been largely successful throughout the country. And even if you look at new shelters that are being designed now, you see less shelter, more sanctuary. So before we actually, you know, started this campaign, we spent about a year doing some research and a feasibility study, and realized that Connecticut is ready for this. Largely, it's individual donors, just like any other campaign, just like philanthropy throughout the country. The majority are people who care deeply about animals and are in a situation where they can help.
What's your game plan now? When do you hope to open up and have everything ready?
Well, we're starting construction in the next couple of months, and that includes the demolition of the current buildings. And then right after that, we're starting phase 1, which includes the outdoor resource center, which is it's going to be a wonderful place, actually. It's 43 acres, gorgeous. We're preserving the majority of it. So it'll have hiking trails, a dog park, picnicking, snack bar. But then it'll also have our first building, which will be the resource center. And that's a flexible building that has 3 functions. One will be an education center that will be able to have groups of 500 people for gatherings. It also can be used in classroom-style learning. The second will be our third facility where we have our behavior programs. And then the last function, which is really close to my heart, is going to be a free spay-neuter clinic for feral cats. And we've all been hearing a lot about the problem with feral cats, and building more shelters, trapping and exterminating them doesn't do it. Sterilizing them in an affordable, and especially when they're feral and nobody owns them, making it accessible and free, I think, is really important. And other states have this resource. We'd be the first to do it.
Now, is this for all kinds of animals? I mean, if I, for instance, want to get rid of my pet elephant, would I take it up to you?
Sadly, no. We'd have to find another place for your pet elephant, and I hope many people don't have that situation. It's largely cats and dogs, although the adoption center will have an aviary for domestic cage birds and little places for small animals like a bunny-specific habitat and areas for small animals like rodents.
Let's pop up that second picture too. This was obviously a lot of political dignitaries.
Oh yeah, this was fun.
This is what, the kickoff?
This was our press conference we had for the groundbreaking, and that's myself, and to the next to me is Marie Joyner. She's the co-founder of our companions. And we have right behind Marie, Scott Haney. He's great, wonderful animal lover. He helped us kick it out. And in the dog costume is Damon Scott on TIC, who's a board member of ours. We were so excited to have Congressman Simmons join us. What a wonderful animal lover, and he's been voted nationally as one of the most animal-friendly lawmakers in our country. And Representative Diana Urban is there, and Pam Sawyer, both very animal-friendly representatives.
Okay, we're going to keep tabs on this as we go
you.
along, and I want to thank you, Susan, for coming by and being with us on our program. Good luck with the project.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for joining us. Tom Monahan here. We'll see you next week on Connecticut Newsmakers.